The audio in this episode was stripped from a guide I put together for the Photoreceptor Cell YouTube channel. So if you wanted to watch along, head over to the channel, which I'll link within the description box for this episode. Hello everybody, Gary Fernon here for Photoreceptor Cell. In this guide I'm going to show you how to create a sunburst. So once you've got your image in Photoshop, I'm going to show you some really easy steps and how to create a sunburst. We begin by setting the foreground and background colors to black and white, and the easy way to do this is by hitting D on the keyboard. This will return your foreground background colors to black and white respectively. Once we've done that, double click on the black foreground and we're going to change the color to yellow. Let's go nice and bright, as bright as we can go. Once we've done that, if we come down to the yin yang sign here, the create new fill or adjustment layer, find gradient, leave the gradient pattern as it is. No need to change that. Change the layer, so the style to radial, and then we're going to leave everything else as it is. Now we want to move that into position. So in order to move this gradient fill, we need to keep the gradient fill box open. So roughly guess where the center is, and then we can just drag that around to suit our image. Now I'm going to take that to roughly center of the horizon and then hit OK. Change that layer blend to overlay. No, we're not. Change that to screen. Here we go. And then from there, if we hit X on the keyboard, it switches our foreground and background layers. So we now have white as our foreground layer, or foreground color. And then we're going to repeat the steps as before. So down to our little yin yang sign, hit gradient, style radial, but on this occasion we're going to scale it down to 25%, and again we're going to move that in position. So we're looking at this little white area here, try and find roughly the center, and we're going to drag that to the center of our previous gradient fill. Once we're happy, hit OK, and the blend mode for this layer will be overlay. And there we go. It was as simple as that, and that is how you create a sunburst. I hope that you found some use in this guide. If you did, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Guys, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this tutorial or this guide, and I shall see you next time. One last thing before you go. I appreciate time is precious, but could I ask a small favour? It would mean so much to me if you would rate and or review this podcast. My aim is to provide you with bite-sized pieces of information that will motivate and inspire you to go out and be creative. And by doing this small favour, it lets me know that I'm achieving just that. Or not, I suppose it depends on whether you give me 1 star or 5. Regardless, it gives me an indication as to whether I'm succeeding or off the beaten path. You're the best.